I just explained you conceptually how do I identify projects from my internal stakeholder, from my external stakeholders, what questions I asked, and so on. Now I will show you a tool which will help it and make it easy for you to identify a project. There are multiple tools. You have project selection matrix, you have the other VOC techniques that I had told you earlier. Sometimes we can also use Kano model, which will help me identify a pain point that the customer is facing. In the Kano model, you can see that I have on the lower left corner the must-haves. In the middle, as a green diagonal line, I have one-dimensional desires. And on the left top corner, I have the delighters or unexpected unknown things. Before even I get into those three, I want you to understand my x-axis is about how my job is done. The x-axis on the right side tells that the job is done well, and on the left says that the job is not done well. The y-axis is how my customer feels. As my customer feels satisfied, it goes up, and as my customer feels dissatisfied, it goes down. Now let us understand what is a must-have or an expected quality requirement which your customer might set it up. These are those needs which the customer has which he has not spoken about. These are taken for granted and spoken if not met. The one-dimensional type of metrics are these are the desired quality metrics which the customer has specifically asked. He has spoken to you that I need this. These are something that are measurable, and it is gives them a range of fulfillment that yes, good, I have bought this product or services. When you look at the delighters, these are something that are unexpected, unknown features of your product or services. Nobody has spoken about it, nobody was expecting this to happen, and they are unknown to the customer. So what you see is that even if you do your job really well for must haves, the customer is never going to reach the satisfaction level, or he might just touch the satisfaction because that's your job. That was required. So let me give a simple example. If I am going by a flight, does do I have to ask specifically that the flight will take off on time? Will they allow me 15 kgs of baggage? Would they allow me a handbag? No, these are some unspoken needs and they're taken for granted. Yes, if the flight is mentioned to be departing at 7 a.m. and reaching the destination by say 10 a.m., it should be around the same time. Because if the flight is delayed, we are going to be unhappy. So the characteristics of a must have is they are spoken if they are not met. Do you know last time when I went by an XYZ Airlines, it just kept me at the airport for 3 extra hours. All my day was planned, did not go. I missed my customer meeting, etc. etc. Does the customer ask you that will the flight depart on time? No. These are unspoken requirements. These are taken for granted requirements. So if you don't, you have to do these requirements and ensure that all the metrics relating to this are met. When I look at the green line, these are one-dimensional desired activities or desired quality characteristics or CTQs which the customer has. In the flight, I might say that I need a business class ticket. I'm willing to pay for it. I need a veg sandwich because I have paid for it and I've booked it. I need a more leg space and I'm willing to pay extra $50 for the extra leg space at the beginning or in the middle and so on. So the customer has specifically asked, I need extra leg space. I need a particular food because in India for the domestic flights, you have to pay to you consume the food. Or for example, I need extra baggages and you are going to charge me say 300 Indian rupees for extra kg of baggage. So I say I have extra luggage. I want to book 50 kgs of extra luggage, right? So these are something the customer is specifically asking. They are measurable, and the customer is also willing to pay for it. Now, suppose I have booked my flight ticket saying that I need some extra space with some extra baggage. I have paid that extra money to the airlines, and when I reach the airport, the flight officers or the crew members tell me, I'm sorry, the seat is not available. We will give you a normal seat. I will get unhappy. So, if the job is not done well, there is a drastic reduction in my satisfaction level. If the job is done well, oh, I booked for it and then it was seamless. So, I get into when the job is done well, I get into the satisfaction zone as a customer. So, these are one dimensional arrays, these are at metrics which are desired quality characteristics of the customer has from the product or service. Now let's understand what are delighters. These are some unspoken needs of the customer. So let's assume that I have booked my flight, I reached the airport, I got into the flight, and the lady over there gave me a bouquet of flowers and a small gift. I was not expecting it. Did I ask for it? No. And when I received it, though the gift was something that I may or may not use, or it was very small, maybe just of $5 or some 500 rupees, I would feel very delighted. You know, last time when I went for the flight, I received this as a complimentary gift. They might just give you something, a pen or a small toy for your kid who is traveling with you. These are something which you are not expecting. Even if it's something which is very poorly done, the customer feels delighted. Now, how do it help me in identifying the project? Let's take an example of the conference room booking. Let's assume that I was not taking this training online, but I had planned for a meeting or for a training in a conference room in one of the five-star hotel. What are the must-have requirements? The AC in the conference room should be appropriate. They should be comfortable seating because my workshop is going to go on for 5 days for 8 long hours every day. These are some expected needs. What if I go to the conference room and I find that those guys have said that for each extra chair you need to pay some amount? I will be dissatisfied. I said, when I book the conference room, I'm expecting you to give seating for my audience, right? If the AC is not working, or if it's too hot or too cold, it's not acceptable. I'll get upset because my customers are my participants of the conference are not comfortable. So these are some must have requirements which needs to be as per the requirements what the client needs. Even if I'm not going to ask, they should know that it should be, these are some basic things when somebody is booking a conference room. The desired objectives of my conference could be that I need a strong Wi-Fi connectivity because I'm going to ask participants to download the data set and I'm going to make them submit their project work, etc. So I will say that I need a strong Wi-Fi connectivity. It's because it's not a speech, but it's an educational workshop. I need a strong Wi-Fi connectivity. I need a projector, which is an LED format, because even the participants who are on the back side of the conference room should be able to clearly see the presentation that I'm showing. When I do this and I reach the conference room and I find that the Wi-Fi is not working, I'll get dissatisfied as a customer. If the Wi-Fi is working as per expected, I'll say yes, I'm happy. They have arranged for the LED, what I asked for, I'll be happy. But if they say, sorry, ma'am, we forgot the LED, I will get dissatisfied. I will say very clearly, I had very clearly instructed you that I need these two things, and I was also willing to pay for it, and so on. Right? The here, what comes out as a delighter is that I was not expecting them to give a free valet parking for my participants. So not only did they give free valet parking, which made them feel royal, they also gave a customized coffee mug which had the imprint of the participants who were coming for this conference. And I was also not aware that he's going to give a customized coffee mug. He just asked me, can you give me the names of the participants who are going to attend? How many of them? I said, yes, this is the list. These are the 25 participants who are going to come. And then he had ensured that he goes to LinkedIn, finds the picture, imprints it on the coffee mug, and gave those customized coffee mugs to my participants. Now, there could be an instance when one of the person who was mentioned in my conference was not easy to be traced on LinkedIn, or his photograph was not good. So, for that customized coffee mug, he just mentions the name of the customer and gives it to him. He has not done a great job, but still I will be satisfied because also my participants will be satisfied because they were never expecting that we are going to get some customized coffee mugs with their photographs and names imprinted, right? So these are some delighters. Even if they are not done so well, the customer is going to be in the satisfaction zone. Now, apart from these three things that we just learned, that is, the must have characteristics are must be characteristics, which are your expected quality requirements. If they don't do the job well, if it is not a job which is fulfilling, there is extra dissatisfaction. If they do it extremely well also, the satisfaction does not go beyond a particular level. The one dimensional blue line, as I just expected, these are some desired quality which the customer has. He specifically asked for it and he needs it. So if you do it well, the customer is happy. If they don't do it well, the customer is dissatisfied. The green color line are your delighters. So even if they do it well or they don't do it well, the customer is already in the satisfaction zone. If they do it extremely well, the customer is on the top of the world. Now, apart from this, you might see a gray color line, which is an indifferent characteristics. Their presence or absence does not cause any difference towards the satisfaction level. Can you guess what could be the indifferent characteristics in my in any project or in any process? And then you see a purple line, which is a reverse. So their presence will cause dissatisfaction and their absence will keep the customer in a satisfaction zone. I'll give you an example. Suppose there is a pest in the conference room. The presence of a pest is going to cause me dissatisfaction, and if it's a pest free, it becomes a satisfaction. So those are some characteristics which should not be present, right? Or example, they have opened the windows of the conference room, which makes the direct sunlight come inside. Now, because they have kept the windows open, technically keeping the window open is a good thing, right? But because they kept the windows open, people are not able to see my slides properly. They are feeling very hot and they are getting distracted because they are looking outside the windows. So, presence is causing dissatisfaction, and absence is keeping the customer in a satisfaction zone. Indifferent could be yes. So, whether they are present or not, it does not make any difference. I would invite you to type some examples of what are the must have characteristics, what are the one dimensional characteristics, what some examples of delighters that you have seen when you're consuming or using some product or services, some indifferent characteristics and some reverse characteristics in the discussion section below, which will help me understand did you understand this concept or not. Now let us understand how do I identify a project using this Kano model. If there is a problem with any of your must have requirements, that is definitely your first list of project ideas. Let's assume all your must haves are being met and the customer has no complaints or no concerns regarding it. Then you go towards the one dimensional aspect where you see that, okay, if the customers are asking for these 3, 4 things or these 10 things, are we able to meet it or not? Yes, out of the 10 requirements the customer has, most of the time, 2 requirements we always get complaints. So those could be your project identification ideas. Once you are satisfied about having a must have in place, your one dimensional place, then only go for inventing some desired characteristics. Please do not think about delighting something to the customer without having your must have in place. So let's keep the house in order before we go for designing some delighters for the customer. You must ensure that the reverse characteristics opportunities are not there in your process, or else that could also be an opportunity for improvement. With that, we come to the end of the Kano model. I'm going to show you some samples which can give you an idea of what are the threshold attributes, what are the performance attributes, and what are the excitement attributes. The must-haves are also called as threshold. Performance attributes are your one-dimensional, and excitement attributes are your delighters. This is about an airline model pre-COVID. Yes. Now, the second exercise which I give to you is to identify each of these items and write down in the discussion section below that what do you think? Automatic channel scanning on a TV, is it a performance delighter or must have? I would be looking forward to your answers in the discussion section so that I can understand whether you understood the concept clearly or not.